Have you ever wondered why some people seem to walk into a room and instantly draw everyone's attention without saying a single word? There's something about them that makes others stop and take notice. It's not just their looks, it's something deeper, something invisible yet powerful. The truth is, attractiveness is not born in the mirror, it's built in your mind and your habits. Every day, from the moment you wake up, you send signals to the world. The way you think, the tone in your voice, how you treat yourself, and even your smallest actions, they all tell people who you are before you ever open your mouth. The world doesn't just see you, it feels you. That feeling is what makes you magnetic or forgettable. And here's the secret few people realize: your daily habits shape that energy. They build your presence, your aura, your quiet strength. These small things you repeat without noticing are silently constructing the version of you that others will either be drawn to or overlook. That's why some people become effortlessly attractive while others, no matter how much they try, seem to fade into the background. Think about it. Every habit you have, what you feed your mind with, how you carry yourself, how you respond to stress, what you focus on either raises or lowers your energy. Attractiveness isn't just how you look on the outside. It's the reflection of the way you live. There's a deep psychological truth here. Humans are emotional mirrors. We subconsciously respond to energy more than appearance. You might forget what someone wore, but you will always remember how they made you feel. People are drawn to calmness, confidence, and authenticity because those traits signal emotional safety and self-assurance. They make others feel stable. They make others feel seen. So when you work on your habits, you are not just improving your day, you are reprogramming the vibration you send out to the world. That's why even the smallest shift can make a massive difference. A few changes in how you think, speak, and act can instantly make you more magnetic. But here's what most people get wrong. They try to act attractive instead of becoming attractive. They copy behaviors. They mimic confidence. They force charm. Yet what S-force never lasts. Real attraction is effortless. It flows from within when your habits align with self-respect, gratitude, and presence. Imagine waking up tomorrow and every move you make, every word you speak, comes from a place of quiet confidence. You are not rushing. You are not trying to impress anyone. You are simply being. That's the kind of energy that turns heads. It's not arrogance, it's peace. And peace is rare. People are drawn to what's rare. When your habits build your peace builds your power. And power is the most beautiful thing a person can carry. It doesn't shout. It doesn't seek attention. It simply exists, unbothered, graceful, and steady. So if you've ever felt overlooked or invisible, understand this. There's no thing wrong with you. You've just been building the wrong habits. You've been investing energy into things that drain you instead of things that define you. The good news? You can start over today. You can rebuild the version of yourself that shines from the inside out. Every habit you change adds a layer to your attractiveness. The way you carry yourself, the thoughts you entertain, the tone you use when you speak to yourself. These small details repeated daily will slowly reshape how others see you and, more importantly, how you see yourself. There's an old saying in psychology: you teach people how to treat you. That teaching begins with your habits. If your habits show that you respect yourself, others will follow your lead. If your habits show that you value growth, others will admire you. If your habits show gratitude, others will feel warmth around you. That's why it's not about pretending, it's about becoming. Because when you become someone who moves through life with grace, purpose, and balance, you naturally attract those who seek the same. People will begin to notice something different in you, even if they can explain it. They'll feel it. And that's when attraction transforms into influence. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Most people never realize how close they are to changing everything. They underestimate the power of a few small habits repeated every day. They look for big changes, instant results, quick transformations. Yet the truth is, the most magnetic people in the world became that way slowly, through consistency, self-awareness, and discipline. So stay with me till the end of this video, because by the time we finish, you will understand 5 simple daily habits that can instantly make you more attractive. Not in some shallow, surface-level way, but in a deep, psychological, and lasting way. Habits that will change how others feel about you and how you feel about yourself. And here is your reward for staying until the end. You will discover the one powerful shift that doesn't just make you more attractive, but truly unstoppable. Because once you master the art of internal beauty, the external world has no choice but to reflect it back to you. So take a deep breath. Forget everything you've been told about looks and charm. This is not about pretending. Attitude. Your entire energy becomes magnetic. People can sense your balance. They feel safe around you because your mind is not chaotic. You are not chasing approval. You are centered. That is what real beauty looks like. It's the peace that radiates through your presence. Think about the last time you met someone who felt confident without trying. They didn't tea-talk the loudest or seek attention, yet people noticed them. That's the power of inner stillness. It's not arrogance, it's alignment. When your mind and emotions work together in harmony, you naturally project strength. You don't need validation, and that independence makes you even more appealing. Psychology tells us that people are drawn to emotional stability. We seek those who project calmness because it makes us feel secure. Your energy either drains or heals others. When your thoughts are positive, compassionate, and grounded, people feel lighter around you. They can explain why, but they want to stay close. That is the power of mindset. It influences how people experience you. Every time you choose to think better, you become better. When you stop feeding your mind with comparison, negativity, and fear, your inner world starts to heal. And when your inner world heals, it shows. Your tone softens. Your eyes shine differently. Your walk becomes steady. That's not luck, that's self-awareness turning into confidence. Many people try to fix how they look while ignoring how they think, but the mind controls everything. A peaceful mind creates beautiful energy, and that energy is what others remember. You don't have to change your features. You only have to change your focus. Start thinking thoughts that empower you. Start believing that you are enough. Because when you do, everything around you begins to shift. It's not about pretending to be confident. It's about building real confidence through consistent self-talk. Tell yourself every day, I am worthy, I am growing, I am enough. These simple affirmations are not just words, they are mental programs. Repeat them long enough, and they become part of your identity. And that identity radiates outward, drawing people toward you naturally. When your mind becomes your ally, life feels lighter. You stop chasing attention, and you start attracting respect. People see your calm, your control, your quiet joy, and they want to understand it. They want to feel what you feel. That's when attraction transforms into inspiration. True attractiveness has nothing to do with perfection. It's about presence. It's about being at peace with who you are, while still reaching for who you can become. When your mind reaches that balance, you no longer force your charm, it simply flows. You become someone others feel drawn to, not because of what you do, but because of what you are. One of the most magnetic qualities a person can ever develop is presence, the ability to be fully here, right now, in a world that constantly pulls your attention in 1,000 directions. Being present is a rare gift, and rare things are always attractive. When you give someone your full attention, you instantly stand out. People remember how you made them feel seen. They remember your calm, your attentiveness, and your energy. Presence isn't about what you say, it's about how deeply you listen. It's the quiet confidence that says, I am here, and I'm not distracted. When you are truly present, you make others feel valued. That's one of the deepest human needs, to be noticed, not for how we look, but for who we are. Presence fulfills that need without words. It is emotional intelligence in its purest form. But here's the truth. Presence takes discipline. Most people live in the past or the future. They replay old mistakes or worry about what might happen next. Their body is here, but their mind is elsewhere. That scattered energy makes them forgettable. You can be magnetic if your attention is divided. People can feel when your mind drifts. They can sense when you're not really with them. And when that happens, connection disappears. To build the habit of presence, start small. Put away your phone when you talk to someone. Look into their eyes when they speak. Listen not to reply, but to understand. These small moments of focus will rewire your brain. Over time, your attention will become stronger, your energy calmer, and your presence more powerful. There's deep psychology behind this. Humans subconsciously respond to emotional availability. When you are fully present, people feel emotionally safe around you. They open up. They trust you. That connection creates a silent bond, a sense of warmth and understanding that no amount of physical beauty can replace. That's why presence is so magnetic. It satisfies the heart, not just the eyes. When you re-alone, practice being present with yourself too. Notice your breath. Feel your surroundings. Slow down your thoughts. This isn't just meditation, it's mental training. The more comfortable you become with silence and awareness, the more centered you appear to others. You no longer rush to fill every gap with noise or words. Your calm becomes contagious. Presence also transforms how you move through life. You begin to appreciate small things: the taste of your morning coffee, the warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of your heartbeat. That quiet gratitude fills your energy with peace, and peace is incredibly attractive. People are drawn to those who make life feel slower, softer, and real. When you master presence, you no longer chase validation or attention. You understand that your value doesn't come from what you achieve, but from how you exist in each moment. You walk differently, speak differently, and connect differently. You radiate a stillness that makes others feel at ease. That's real charisma. It's not about performance, it's about authenticity. Every time you choose to be present, you strengthen your emotional power. You become the calm in the noise, the stillness in the storm, and in a world that is always rushing, that calm is irresistible. When you begin to master presence, something powerful happens. You start to notice yourself more clearly. You see what you allow, what you tolerate, and what you truly deserve. That awareness leads to one of the most attractive habits of all: self-respect. Nothing draws people in faster than someone who values themselves deeply yet humbly. It's not pride. It's self-worth quietly expressed through your choices. Self-respect is the foundation of personal power. It's the invisible wall that protects your peace, your energy, and your dignity. When you respect yourself, you stop giving discounts on your value. You no longer chase people, approval, or attention, because you understand that your worth isn't up for negotiation. And that inner confidence, that quiet no, is magnetic. It tells the world, I know who I am, and I'm not afraid to stand alone if I must. Psychologically, people are drawn to those who hold clear boundaries. Boundaries signal emotional maturity. They show that you understand balance, that you want to be controlled, and that you know how to protect your peace. This kind of energy feels strong, grounded, and trustworthy. When you have self-respect, you become someone others instinctively look up to, even if they can't explain why. But self-respect doesn't begin with grand gestures. It begins with small daily decisions. It's choosing not to reply to messages that disturb your peace. It's saying no to things that feel wrong in your gut. It's refusing to shrink just to be accepted. Each of these moments is a silent declaration, I matter, and every time you make that choice, you strengthen your inner power. Many people confuse self-respect with ego, but they were completely different. Ego is loud. It wants to be seen and admired. Self-respect is quiet. It doesn't need to prove anything. It simply stands firm in truth. You can be kind without being a people pleaser. You can be humble without being a doormat. True strength lies in balance, the ability to love without losing yourself. When you practice self-respect, you stop begging for love and start attracting it. You no longer settle for half-hearted attention because you've learned to give yourself full attention. This shift changes how others treat you. People sense your standards and they rise to meet them. You teach the world how to handle you through how you handle yourself. Every act of self-respect builds a kind of glow that no product, outfit, or filter can create. It's the glow of someone who knows their limits, their value, and their direction. It's emotional independence, a quiet strength that says, I choose peace over chaos. I choose dignity over desperation. And that, more than anything else, makes you attractive. Because in a world full of noise, people crave those who know their worth and don't need to prove it. When you stand firm in self-respect, you don't have to chase attention, your energy commands it. When self-respect becomes part of your daily life, you begin to see another truth. Life always gives back the energy you send out. That realization opens the door to one of the most transformative habits of all: gratitude. Gratitude doesn't just change your mood, it changes your energy, your posture, and your entire presence. It makes you glow from within, quietly and beautifully. Gratitude teaches you to see abundance, even when life feels uncertain. It trains your mind to focus on what's right, instead of what's missing. When you start your day with appreciation, you create a mental shift from lack to fulfillment. That shift is powerful, because people are drawn to those who radiate contentment. They can sense when someone is genuinely thankful for life. It feels warm, inviting, and safe. Psychology shows that gratitude rewires your brain for positivity. It lowers stress, increases resilience, and improves emotional balance. When you live in gratitude, you naturally develop a calm, centered energy that others crave. You stop complaining, you stop comparing, and your peace becomes visible. Gratitude gives you a soft strength, one that doesn't need to compete, because it already feels complete. Every moment of gratitude is a small act of self-love. When you look around and say, "I'm thankful for what I have," you remind your mind that you are already enough, that confidence attracts others not through words, but through energy. You become the kind of person people feel comfortable around because your heart radiates appreciation instead of bitterness. It's easy to fall into the trap of focusing on what's missing. Everyone does it sometimes, but real growth happens when you start noticing what's already here, the people who care for you, the opportunities that surround you, the lessons that shaped you. The more you notice the good, the more good finds its way to you. Gratitude becomes a magnet for blessings. You can build this habit through simple daily rituals. Each morning before checking your phone, name 3 things you're grateful for. They don't have to be grand: a warm cup of tea, a peaceful night's rest, or even the ability to breathe deeply. Gratitude doesn't depend on circumstances. It depends on perspective. When you practice it daily, your heart opens wider and your spirit becomes lighter. People who live with gratitude often seem to have a special kind of light around them. They smile differently, they move with ease, they carry an energy that makes others feel better just by being near them. That's not luck, it's mindset. Gratitude aligns you with grace, and grace is unforgettable. When you learn to be grateful, you stop chasing happiness, you start creating it. You realize that every moment holds something worth appreciating, and that quiet contentment becomes your beauty. Because in a world full of complaints and comparison, the person who lives with gratitude will always stand out, not because of what they have, but because of how they see. When gratitude becomes a RT of who you are, your heart feels lighter and your perspective expands. You begin to realize that life isn't about being perfect. It's about becoming better every single day. That awareness leads to another deeply attractive habit: growth. The desire to evolve, to learn, and to rise above your past is one of the most powerful qualities a person can have. People can sense it in your energy. They can see it in your eyes. Growth gives you a quiet, unstoppable confidence, the kind that doesn't need to shout. A growing person is never stagnant. They don't stay stuck in old patterns or identities. They keep learning, adjusting, and transforming. That flexibility makes them magnetic because it shows emotional strength. The human mind naturally admires progress. When we see someone committed to self-improvement, it inspires us. It reminds us that change is possible and that hope is real. Growth doesn't always happen in big leaps. Most of it happens in small, invisible moments: choosing patience when you feel angry, choosing forgiveness instead of revenge, choosing courage over fear. These tiny decisions, made repeatedly, slowly shape the kind of person others respect and admire. You become someone who doesn't just talk about change, you embody it. Psychologically, growth triggers confidence because it builds self-trust. Every time you challenge yourself and follow through, you teach your mind, "I can depend on me." That trust becomes the root of inner peace. You stop fearing failure because you understand that mistakes are not the end, they are lessons in disguise. This mindset is magnetic because it radiates maturity. You carry yourself differently when you know that no matter what happens, you will rise again. People who commit to growth are also deeply humble. They don't pretend to know everything. They listen, observe, and remain curious. This openness creates emotional depth, the kind that pulls people closer. There's something incredibly beautiful about someone who admits they are still learning, but refuses to stop trying. That humility mixed with drive creates a rare kind of balance: soft yet strong, grounded yet ambitious. To build this habit, feed your mind with things that elevate you. Read books that stretch your thinking. Listen to voices that challenge your comfort zone. Reflect on your mistakes without judging yourself. Growth is not about being better than others. It's about being better than you were yesterday. Every step forward, no matter how small, strengthens your foundation and refines your spirit. And here's the truth: people can feel growth. It shows in your patience, your reactions, and your calm. It changes how you handle pressure and how you respond to negativity. Growth gives you emotional control, and that control is magnetic. You no longer react, you respond. You no longer prove, you improve. When you live with the habit of growth, your energy becomes unstoppable. You carry the quiet confidence of someone who knows they are evolving, not competing. And that mindset, steady, focused, and humble, is what makes you truly attractive in the eyes of everyone you meet. Growth naturally awakens another essential trait: care. Once you begin improving yourself, you start realizing how important it is to nurture what's already yours: your body, your mind, and your soul. The habit of care isn't about vanity or perfection. It's about respect for the life you've been given. It's the act of saying, I am worth taking care of. And that belief makes you glow in ways that no makeup, outfit, or filter ever could. Care begins with the smallest choices: how you treat your body, how you speak to yourself, and how you manage your emotions. When you eat better, move more, and rest enough, you are sending your brain a message: I matter. Your energy rises, your mood improves, and your confidence strengthens. It's not about chasing a certain image, it's about honoring the one body and one mind you have. Psychologically, self-care builds trust within yourself. When you consistently tend to your needs, your subconscious learns that you can be counted on. You no longer depend on others to validate or rescue you, because you've learned to nurture your own well-being. That self-sufficiency is incredibly attractive. It's the kind of strength that people feel, not see. You radiate independence without arrogance because you are whole on your own. Taking care of yourself also changes how you show up for others. When you are rested, nourished, and emotionally grounded, you can give love without losing yourself in the process. You listen more deeply, you forgive more easily, and you connect more authentically. True care for others always begins with care for yourself. Without it, kindness turns into exhaustion, and giving becomes sacrifice. Caring for your mental health is just as important as caring for your body. That means setting boundaries with toxic people, giving yourself permission to rest, and finding moments of peace in your day. It means turning off the noise when your heart feels overwhelmed. It means reminding yourself that being productive is not the same as being valuable. You are allowed to rest, to pause, to breathe. That balance gives your energy depth and calmness, two things that make people feel instantly drawn to you. Care also extends to how you talk to yourself. Your inner voice shapes your outer energy. When you speak with kindness and patience, you build emotional safety within your own mind. That warmth spills into your interactions, and people feel it. They may not know why, but they sense something comforting about you. That's what care does. It creates peace that others can feel. When you care for yourself consistently, you move through life differently. You stop rushing. You stop forcing. You begin to walk with calm confidence, knowing that you are not running from emptiness, you are moving from fullness. People can sense that. They were drawn to your serenity, to your quiet strength, to the grace in how you carry yourself. Care isn't selfish. It's sacred. It's the foundation that allows every other habit presence, gratitude, growth, and self-respect to flourish. And when care becomes your daily rhythm, you don't just look attractive, you feel attractive, because nothing is more magnetic than a person who treats themselves like someone worth protecting, nurturing, and loving. Once you've learned to care for yourself, the next step in becoming truly attractive is mastering the art of boundaries. Boundaries aren't walls that shut people out. They are gates that let the right ones in. They are the invisible lines that protect your peace, your energy, and your self-respect. And nothing is more magnetic than someone who knows what they will and will not allow in their life. Most people mistake boundaries for selfishness, but the truth is the opposite. Boundaries are acts of clarity and self-awareness. They communicate your standards without needing confrontation. They say, I respect myself enough to choose peace over approval. When you set boundaries, you stop chasing people who drain you and start attracting those who value you. It's not about being cold, it's about knowing your worth. Having boundaries means you are not available for everything. You no longer reply to messages that disturb your peace. You don't explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You stop over-giving to relationships that never give back. And you learn the quiet power of saying no without guilt. That one word, when spoken calmly and confidently, can change the direction of your entire life. Psychologically, boundaries signal emotional maturity. They tell the world you are no longer ruled by fear of rejection or the need for validation. You operate from inner stability, not outer chaos. People respect that energy, even those who once tried to overstep it. It's the kind of presence that says, I am not available for disrespect, confusion, or inconsistency. And because you live by that standard, you start drawing in people who align with it. Boundaries also redefine attraction. When you are too available, too accommodating, or too eager to please, people subconsciously lose interest. But when you move with quiet confidence, when your time, attention, and energy feel sacred, others become curious. They want to earn access to you. Your silence becomes powerful. Your distance becomes dignified. It's the psychology of scarcity. What's rare feels valuable. But boundaries aren't just about saying no, they're also about saying yes to what truly nourishes you. Yes to peace. Yes to people who reciprocate your effort. Yes to goals that align with your higher self. Setting boundaries frees you to live with intention. Instead of being controlled by guilt or obligation, you begin to build a life that feels safe, calm, and meaningful, one that reflects your deepest values, not the expectations of others. Maintaining boundaries requires courage, because not everyone will like them. Some will call you distant or selfish. But that's a reflection of their lack of boundaries, not yours. You must remember, protecting your energy is not arrogance, it's alignment. The people who are meant for you will respect your limits, not test them. When care and boundaries coexist, you become unstoppable. You give love from a full heart, not from emptiness. You connect deeply yet remain whole. You become someone who doesn't beg for attention because your peace, your presence, and your self-respect already command it. And that, more than anything, is what makes you powerfully attractive. When your life is grounded in gratitude, something extraordinary happens. You stop chasing external validation because you begin to recognize how much you already have. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is missing to what's meaningful. It turns ordinary moments into gifts and silent mornings into reminders that you are alive, capable, and growing. This inner shift doesn't just make you peaceful, it makes you radiant. Attractive people radiate gratitude because they've trained their minds to look for light, even in the shadows. They understand that every challenge carries a lesson, every delay a hidden blessing. When you move through life with a thankful heart, people feel it in your energy. They sense calm in your tone, warmth in your eyes, and peace in your presence. Gratitude changes your vibration. It draws people toward you because they feel safe around someone who sees beauty where others see bitterness. Psychologically, gratitude rewires your brain. It reduces stress, strengthens optimism, and releases dopamine, the very chemical associated with joy and motivation. People who practice daily gratitude often appear more centered, more alive. They were not immune to pain, but they process it differently. Instead of complaining about what went wrong, they ask, what did I learn? What did it teach me about myself? That mindset makes them unshakable. It's the quiet confidence that comes from knowing that life is happening for you, not to you. The habit of gratitude also transforms how you relate to others. When you express genuine appreciation, it strengthens emotional bonds. You start noticing small acts of kindness, the friend who checks in, the stranger who smiles, the sunset that paints the sky for free. This awareness softens your ego and opens your heart. Gratitude makes you humble, but not weak. It teaches you that strength doesn't always roar sometimes. It whispers thank you in the middle of uncertainty. The beauty of gratitude lies in its simplicity. You don't need grand gestures or perfect circumstances to practice it. It could be a few seconds in the morning where you whisper thanks for breath, for shelter, for another chance to become better. It could be writing down 3 things you appreciate before bed. These small acts seem trivial, but over time they build emotional resilience. You start to see your life not as a collection of problems to solve, but as a masterpiece unfolding one moment at a time. And here's the truth: grateful people are deeply magnetic. They don't walk around demanding attention or approval. They glow with quiet contentment. Their peace is contagious. When others are trapped in comparison, gratitude keeps you grounded. When others chase validation, gratitude keeps you fulfilled. It's not about ignoring pain, it's about refusing to let it define you. When you live with gratitude, you move differently. You smile more. You stress less. You attract abundance because your energy tells the world you are already abundant. Gratitude isn't just a feeling, it's a signal. It says, I value what I have and I'm ready for more. And that, when life begins to give you even more to be thankful for. Gratitude builds peace within you, but calm, Confidence is what carries that peace into the world. It's the quiet assurance that you can handle whatever life throws your way without losing yourself in chaos. It's not loud, not arrogant, and not built on ego. It's built on trust in your growth, your resilience, and your ability to rise again no matter how many times you fall. There's a certain kind of attractiveness that comes from calmness. When you speak slowly, when you move with intention, when you respond instead of reacting, you give off a rare kind of energy. People feel safe around you because you were not easily shaken. In a world full of noise, calm confidence feels like peace. It's like standing beside a steady flame while everyone else burns too fast and too bright. Psychologically, calm confidence comes from self-regulation. It's when your emotions no longer control you, you control them. You no longer chase people to prove your worth. You don't argue to win. You don't panic when things go wrong. Instead, you breathe, observe, and decide. You stop reacting impulsively and start responding wisely. This level of control is magnetic because it communicates strength without aggression. It says, I know who I am, and I don't need to prove it. Calm confidence also changes the way you communicate. You stop over-explaining. You stop defending your every move. You say what needs to be said and let silence carry the rest. You understand that people's opinions don't define your reality, and their approval isn't your oxygen. You no longer crumble under pressure because you've learned to anchor yourself in your own truth. That steadiness, the ability to stay composed even when others lose control, is one of the most powerful forms of attraction. But calm confidence doesn't come overnight. It grows every time you choose peace over reaction, patience over impulse, faith over fear. It grows each time you pause before responding, when you remind yourself that your energy is your responsibility. This is not about pretending to be unaffected. It's about being selective with what deserves your attention. The more you protect your calm, the more powerful you become. People who master calm confidence differently. They listen more than they speak. Their presence feels grounding, like a quiet strength that holds the room together. They don't compete, they attract. Because while others are trying to prove, they were simply being, and that energy, that sense of control and stillness makes people lean in. When you embody calm confidence, you stop being a storm, you become the sky. Unmoved, vast, constant. You understand that everything around you may change, but your peace is yours to protect. And that kind of strength, the kind that doesn't shout but radiates, is the kind that stays in people's minds long after you've left the room. When calm confidence becomes part of you, it naturally opens the door to something even deeper: living with purpose. Purposeful people carry a sense of direction that sets them apart. They don't drift through life waiting for meaning to appear, they create it. Their steps feel intentional. Their choices align with something larger than themselves. And that clarity is one of the most magnetic traits a person can have. Purpose gives you power. It wakes you up in the morning with a reason to move, even when life feels heavy. It pulls you out of comfort zones, out of distractions, out of anything that doesn't serve your growth. People who live with purpose don't waste time explaining their path, they simply walk it. That silent dedication is deeply attractive because it reflects focus, maturity, and conviction. You can see it in their eyes, they know where they were going, and that certainty draws others in. Psychologically, living with purpose gives your mind structure. It directs your energy toward creation, not confusion. It stops you from comparing yourself to others because you realize your path is uniquely yours. Purpose grounds you, especially when life gets noisy. It gives you something stable to hold on to, a vision that keeps you centered when everything else feels uncertain. And the more connected you are to that purpose, the more your energy transforms. People feel it when someone lives with direction. It's not about money, fame, or perfection. It's about alignment. It's about showing up every day for what you believe in, even when it's hard. That kind of consistency builds respect. It tells others that you not just existing, you becoming. It makes you glow differently, speak differently, move differently. Purpose makes you magnetic because it communicates self-respect without words. Living with purpose doesn't mean you need your entire life figured out. It starts small, choosing progress over excuses, growth over comfort, meaning over approval. It's about asking yourself, what matters to me? What impact do I want to leave? When you live by those questions, you begin to make choices that reflect your higher self. Every action becomes an expression of who you are becoming. And the beauty of purposeful living is that it inspires others to find their own path. People are naturally drawn to those who know why they do. what they do. When you live with purpose, you become a mirror showing others what's possible when someone commits to their truth. You no longer chase happiness. You create it through meaning. You no longer seek attention, you earn it through authenticity. You no longer fear being misunderstood because you understand yourself. Purpose gives you direction, and direction gives you power. When your life moves with intention, your presence becomes unforgettable. You stop blending in and start standing out, not because you try to, but because everything about you quietly says, I am living for something real. When you live with purpose, your path becomes clearer.